Good afternoon, friends. This Shabbos we begin the first book in the Torah, the first Sefer Bamidbar, commonly known as the Book of Numbers, but the literal translation of the word Bamidbar is in the desert. We always read this parasha, the Shabbos before the holiday of Shavuot, the holiday where we celebrate the receiving of the Torah and the Ten Commandments at Mount Sinai. The question is, shouldn't the Torah be given to us at the holiest place in the world, in the Bet HaMikdash, Temple Mount? This is not the place where God should reveal Himself and bring godliness to this world from there? Why in the desert? Mount Sinai, no one even knows today where Mount Sinai is exactly. Mount Sinai did not turn into a holy place. And our sages tell us that the reason or a lesson we could learn from it is double. One, the Torah does not belong to one geographical place and in a certain state of holiness. But the Torah was given in the desert, which is Hefker, which is public property. Anyone and at any time can associate with Hashem and with the Torah. Number two, our sages tell us that in order to receive and to internalize the Torah, one needs to become and make himself, herself a hefker lakol, make oneself public property, make oneself humble, and apply humility for others, like the desert. Many people are turning to us these days and asking, when are we reopening? For prayers, for programs, and so on. I must clarify, we never closed. As we all know, that we kept the kitchen and put the biggest emphasis on the kitchen and on food, that Baruch Hashem, thank you to each and everyone for the tremendous help and volunteering and so on and so forth to bring physical, tangible food to people's homes. At the same time, we do need to daven with a minyan. We do need to have the community together. Why aren't we reopening? I just heard the press conference of our Premier and Minister of Health, who addressed our province and Calgary in particular, and Brooks, about reopening phase one. And thank God for the state where we are, and I was very encouraged by many things that the Premier and the Minister of Health have shared with us. And Baruch Hashem that we are in that state and that we could move forward. So, as someone called me yesterday and left me a message, Rabbi, are we having services tonight? And the answer is, not yet. We're having services, but not yet at Chabad house as a minyan. So let me explain and share with you what is happening. We are not taking minyan and programs at the Chabad house lightly. The lack of it. lightly. At the same time, we're also not taking the reopening lightly. Very difficult, and it's a decision, and it's walking a fine line. I could go on and on with what is happening here in our province, in our city, and throughout the world. But I'll give you share with you the general approach of the Torah outlook, halacha outlook of the vast majority, if not all, opinions of the halachic authorities in the world today. The advice given based on the ruling in the Torah, Chamira Sakanto Me'isuro, danger is more strict than prohibition, is guiding us in taking precaution and taking a slow and more assured approach to reopening. While even in our holy land, in Israel, the authorities have allowed reopening of shuls and synagogues, many, including Chabad, halachic rabbis and halachic authorities, have advised again to wait and to take precaution. As a general rule, 2 weeks after the reopening, after the phases that are taking place by the government and medical advice. Exactly 2 weeks, I don't know. We are dealing with it. I want to assure you that we are working on it on daily basis with the fullest attention. Leadership in our province is united, and in our city, synagogues are working on it together in coming with the same message and approach to the reopening and relaunching the minions in shuls and so on, to the extent possible. We realize Shavuos is next week, and we would like to have the reading of the 10 Commandments from the Torah with as many people as possible. Yizker is the second day of Shavuos. We will do our best to make it happen in the right time without making any promises, because I don't know. We are studying it, and we are trying and wanting to make sure that everyone is as safe as possible. I would like to share a thought. Mainly and primarily, the guiding force by our government and Alberta health services and in the world in the decision making of reopening is based on, can our hospitals handle cases if it comes, or it will be beyond control. And we heard it today in the conference. And based on the fact that it's under control, and based on the fact that the numbers of casualties and people getting ill is getting lower, so we're testing the system. In halacha and in Judaism, we would like to take it a step further. Not only can the hospital handle a case, can the system handle a case, but can we be more assured of not getting sick, God forbid, and affected by the virus? And for that's the reason for the precaution. So we're working on it. Meanwhile, in the short time, hopefully, that is left to remain at home and to daven at home and to pray at home and so on and so forth, and the time that we still have with our children, let us concentrate and bring close to heart and plan how we're going to be when we're going to go into the promised land. Meanwhile, we're in the desert. When we are going to go back to Shul, how are we going to behave? Let's apply humility, care for the other, caution, etc., being careful with the social distance, and making sure that the world is going to become and be healthier, and my contribution to it. Thank you very much. Good Shabbos, a healthy Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. Don't forget to light the Shabbos candles this evening, and keep tuned on all the good things coming our way, and with the plans for the holiday of Shavuot, whichever level it's going to happen. We are committed to receiving the Torah again and internalizing the Torah, and our commitment to Hashem and to His mitzvot. Joy, with joy, besimcha ubipnimiyut, with joy and internalizing godliness, Torah, and mitzvot. Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.